Jenni Minto, to be followed by Gillian Martin, who will be the last speaker, backbench speaker in the debate. Thank you.
Thank you, Presiding Officer, and I welcome Mary McCallan to her role as well. Farmers in Argyll and Bute are very concerned about the precedent that this hastily negotiated tariff-free trade deal between the UK and Australia sets, agreed even before the Trade and Agricultural Commission has been set up to scrutinise the economic impact of such deals. A deal which places consumers above producers. Farmers across my constituency work hard to produce top-quality cattle and sheep. Farmers across my constituency are central to the communities that they live in. But as Duncan McAllister, Chair of NFU Argyll and the Isles, said to me yesterday, farmers are price takers, not price makers. Of course.
Michelle Thompson.
Would the member agree with me that the statement by Dr Marita Jaeger, who's a Senior Research Fellow at the University of Sussex, what she points out is wider than just producers themselves, and what she says, and I quote, "What is worrying on a much broader point is that the UK government is pushing ahead with a trade deal without any public discussion about what trade policy, what kind of economy and what kind of national food production they are pursuing, if there is any strategy at all."
Jenni Minto.
So yes, I would agree with the member. Farming is more than just simply the food production. It's what it does for the community. It's the children going to the schools, it's supporting the health service, it's supporting the local shops. So yes, it is much wider than just simply the food production. Living on Islay, I am surrounded by land which is carefully cultivated and stewarded by farmers. This cultivation has been going on for centuries. The 1799 statistical account records the rearing of cattle is a principal object with the gentlemen of Islay, who have the merit of having brought the Islay cattle to vie with the best of their neighbours at market. They are carried by drovers to Dumbarton and Falkirk, and even to England. Islay cattle remain a very high quality, with yearlings being sold to the mainland for finishing, a sale at Bridgend March yielding up to £1 million. And Highland cattle are established in the less favourable moorland, producing meat containing more protein and iron and less fat, managed by farmers and their families who are so integral to the island's economy and community, as they are the length and breadth of Argyll and Bute. I'd like to continue, if you don't mind. There are 1,944 farms employing over 2,600 people in Argyll and Bute. But with one quick signature, this tariff-free trade deal, as Jim Fairley's motion says, could lead to potentially hugely damaging consequences for Scotland's most remote and rural communities. On Sunday, I met with Scott McClellan, whose family have farmed Kilheran on Islay for generations. His farm is possibly as remote and rural as you can get. Situated atop cliffs on the rugged west coast of Islay, Scott farms a mix of sheep and cattle. The farm has a distinctive, almost 200-year-old roundsteading, and what was Jim was saying, farming has history and flourishes through continuity. If broken, that continuity of effort and success may be impossible to repair. No, sorry. Scott told me that the Australian farmers have a couple of advantages over Scottish hill farmers: scale and breadth of market. The Asian market will buy every cut of the Australian farmer's beast, while Scottish farmers make their profit on the prime cuts as there is little or no market for offal. He recognises that it might take time for the Australian agricultural sector to shift to increase their sales to the UK market, but his real concern is the much closer and bigger markets of the United States, Brazil and Argentina. This worry was repeated by Duncan McAllister. We don't know what the future will hold, he told me, but cheaper produce will arrive in our supermarkets, and sadly, though people want to shop local, they shop with money and not their hearts. Jim Fairley's motion ends by asking that the UK Government must take notice of the vulnerability of Scotland's agricultural sectors. This is wholeheartedly supported by the farmers of Argyll and Bute. I will finish by quoting a Scot who emigrated to the United States, the Reverend John Witherspoon, speaking in 1776 about American independence. He said in his heavy Scots burr, "Sir, in my judgment, the country is not only ripe for the measure, but it is in danger of rotting for the want of it." Might I suggest that 245 years later, this is now the situation in the country of his birth? Thank you.